video. Now, coming up in this week's video, some British blues legends. I recognise and meet someone who I've been following on Facebook. And how to make a guitar sound like a chicken. As you can tell from the title of this video, I'm going to be reviewing the Jimmie Vaughan gig that I went to this week. And I've had a couple of busy weeks going to watch gigs, because last week I also went to see John Cleary, who I've seen before with Bonnie Raitt. This is the first time I've ever seen him with his band. And I couldn't film anything from that because I was at Ronnie Scott's. Here's the view that I had. I got upgraded to sit at the bar, which is the best seat in the house. And I have to say, it was one of the most exciting gigs I've ever been to. It was absolutely brilliant. So if you get a chance to see John Cleary with his band, definitely go. And the second gig I went to last week was to see Albert Lee. He was in the Arts Centre in the town where I live. And now I did see him less than a year ago, and I've done a review of that previous gig, which I'll link to here. So I'm not going to do another review, but needless to say, it was good again. He's an absolute legend, and I gave him one of my CDs, which was very exciting, and I hope he had a chance to listen to it, because on one of my CDs I wrote a song called Funky Country Boy, which was a kind of tribute to him, and it's got lots of little references to his song Country Boy. You can check that out on Spotify or wherever you get your music, because it's on there. It's on my album Long Game, so check that one out.
This is where the weekend starts. Take the mic and play my part. I'm a funky country boy at heart. Yeah.
But the gig I'm going to review today is Jimmie Vaughan and the Tilt-A-Whirl band. It was at a venue called 229 in London, which I hadn't even heard of, but it was a smallish venue, but it was a really good venue and a very good sound. It's right near Great Portland Street tube station in London. And when I walked in, the first person I saw was this rather tall guy, and I thought, I recognise him. And it was this guy here. I took a photo with him. I went and introduced myself. His name's James Oliver, and I've been following him on Facebook because he plays Telecaster. He kind of does fast, sort of rockabilly country Telecaster. And I really enjoy his videos, and he's like the hardest working man in showbiz. He does like 400 odd gigs a year. I don't know how he manages it. He does 3 some days, and I asked him about this, and I said, I thought I did quite a lot of gigs, but you really, you really do a lot. And he said to me, how many do you do then? I said, I don't know, 150, 200. He went, part-timer, which, compared to him, I am. But check him out on, I don't know if he's on YouTube, I've found him on Facebook and Instagram, the James Oliver Band. Definitely worth checking out. I'm just going to butt in here and just mention that I've got a library of video guitar lessons online. Beginning country guitar one, the newest one I've put up there is all about doing left hand damping. But I've got lots of other solos. I've got show you how to play the end solo from Sultans of Swing, a solo from Hotel California. I've got some Nile Rodgers funk stuff, various other stuff. There's some monthly subscriptions or some of the lessons you can buy separately. So go and check them out. They're on my website, iamtjwalker.com, and at the top of the page there's a little tab that says guitar lessons. So on to the music, the gig that I went to watch. Now the support, it wasn't announced actually on the website, so it was a surprise, but I went in and I guessed by the fact they were selling their albums and merch and stuff. So it was Dennis Greaves and Mark Felton from 9 Below Zero. They came and did a kind of cut down acoustic set on a kind of jazzy guitar and harmonica. And I have to say, when it started out, I thought, sometimes, these acoustic acts, it could be sort of hard work really, but it wasn't. It was really good and really entertaining. They were obviously very experienced performers, and they were really captivating, and it's an absolutely fantastic harmonica player. So I'm just going to show you a little clip of this.
Won't you say yes, don't you say no, make me feel good.
And they did a cover of a Van Halen song. Not really. They did a song that Van Halen did on their first album too, called Ice Cream Man. So if you're a Van Halen fan, you'll recognise this one. So I filmed a little bit of this one, just because it was on the Van Halen album.
I'm your ice cream man, stop me when I'm passing by. man, stop me when I'm passing by.
And then also they did this, which was unexpected. They did a cover of "What's Going On" by Marvin Gaye, which I enjoyed. So here's a little bit of that.
Don't punish me with brutality. Talk to me, and you will see what's going on. What's going on? What's going on?
So they did about 40 minutes, I guess. It was really good, really entertaining set. Great bit of banter in between the songs. And then it was time for the main man, Jimmie Vaughan. Now, of course, I always like to have a look at the gear that's going on these gigs. And for someone like Jimmie Vaughan, there's not usually a lot to look at. They don't have big pedal boards and everything. In fact, I don't think he had a pedal board at all. And it looked like he had two, and the reason I'm going to tell you why, I can't tell you exactly what they were. It looked like two reissue bassmen running side by side. And the reason I can't tell you, if you look at this photo, obviously it was too loud on stage for the sound man, but instead of having Perspex baffles, which they clearly didn't have available, they seemed to have gaffer taped two cardboard boxes to the front of his amps, which I quite like the aesthetic and the kind of make-do mentality of this. I thought that was quite an interesting way of doing it because it serves its purpose. It doesn't look as nice as a Perspex baffle, does it? But it does the job. Anyway, so I think hidden behind there are two reissue bassmen, and he does have one pedal on top, which later transpired to be a tremolo, because obviously a bassman doesn't have a tremolo on it. So there we go. That was pretty much his setup, and he had a white Strat, which I guess it could have been a Jimmie Vaughan Strat, and that's all he played all night, with a capo on most of the time. So here's just a photo I took. I try not to take too many videos, so I actually want to enjoy the gig rather than filming it, but I wanted to film a bit to make this video, so I took a couple of photos as well, and he just looks cool in every single photo. He comes out, he has a certain presence, sort of laid back quality, and then he flash a grin at the audience. He's like a sort of favourite cool uncle somehow. He's just friendly looking face and cool. So here we are, just a little bit of a solo to kick things off. So as you can hear from that, he gets a great sound, and it's very, very simple playing. He doesn't do anything flash at all. It's quite refreshing in some ways. I mean, he doesn't hit the mark every time, but somehow it makes it exciting. It feels like it's about to go wrong at any moment. And as you could probably hear in that last solo, he is outlining chord changes. He sort of, it's almost like Columbo. He's kind of pretends that he doesn't know what he's doing, and so sort of tricks you somehow. He's playing through the changes, he's playing nice stuff all the time, but it's so simple. And notice on that last clip he's playing with a pick, but he seems to alternate. Some songs he'll put his pick down and just play with his thumb or his fingers. So I'm going to show you this next clip, was this lovely arrangement he did. I think it was called Frame for the Blues or something like that, and really nice arrangement. But this one, you'll see it shows off the horn section, who were fantastic. They're called the Texas Horns, and it was Al Gomez on trumpet, it was Kaz, oh hang on, what was his name, let me look it up, Kaz Kazanoff on tenor sax, and John Mills on baritone sax, and they were really captivating, brilliant players, fantastic section, great soloists as well, and they just really animated and just looked cool, and don't know, they just made the whole show. They were brilliant. So this is a really nice arrangement of this tune, so let me just play a bit of this. But as I say, you kind of get this impression that he doesn't. In between the songs, he's got this massive music stand. You can't see what's on it, but he seems to be putting his pick on it or his capo. And then at the end of the song, he's kind of staring at it like, don't know what I'm doing next. And it almost lulls you into this sort of sense that it's all on the edge and don't quite know what's going on. And then he'll just rip into something. And as I say, he's doing this sort of simple playing, sometimes missing the mark slightly on the solo, but on the arrangement bits with all these sort of stabs and bits at the end, he's absolutely on the money, and all these sort of chord changes as well. I don't know if it's intentional, but it makes it really exciting to watch. So he went on and he then, to please the audience, he does a fabulous Thunderbird song, and he did The Crawl. So let me play a little bit of this one. And this is where he turns his tremolo pedal on with his hand. It wasn't on the floor, he just went over and flicks it on. It's the only song he used it for. So here's a bit of that.
Oh baby, scratch my back. I know you can do it. Baby, that's right. That's right.
And as I say, I didn't want to film all night, and I stopped filming. But then he started doing the chicken thing, and I've never heard anyone do this live. I mean, I used that thing. I first copied that when I first heard it on the Fabulous Thunderbirds records 35 years ago when I first heard it. But I've never heard anyone do it live. And when he does it, the guitar does sound like a chicken. It doesn't when I do it, so I've got to work on that. So let me play you this. And here's a good example. I'm going to play this whole clip. On the second one, he misses the thing. He goes to play the chicken thing and misses it. And that's kind of what it's like all night. And then he does the next ones, and they're absolutely spot on. And this is what I mean about how it's exciting, because you feel like it's about to go wrong at any minute. So here we are. Here's how he makes a guitar sound like a chicken. Then another real crowd pleaser, he did Texas Flood, which of course is synonymous with his late brother. It was the name of his first album with Double Trouble, and it's a very different version to Stevie Ray Vaughan version. It's got like the horns and stuff on it. It was a really nice version actually. When he sings, it's very different to a sort of smooth, great vocal that Stevie does. He's almost yelling when he's singing, but it's great phrasing, and it's just sort of passion, and it's great. Anyway, here we go. Here's a bit of Texas Flood.
Down in Texas Valley, 'cause all the telephone lines are down. Well, it's flooding down in Texas Valley, 'cause all the telephone lines are down.
Then another nice little moment here. He does a song, and I knew what this was because I recently watched the documentary that's on, I think it's on Amazon Prime, about him, and there's lots of interviews him all the way through about him and his brother. And I read the autobiography, or not the biography about the two of them recently as well. But this is a song that he does called Six Strings Down, which is all about Stevie and sort of other blues players that have died and gone to blues heaven. And he did this one completely on his own. He just played and sung it on his own. It was great. So here's just a little clip of that.
This good blues stringing, having fun singing, Jesus, Mary, and Joseph, been listening to their playing. Lord, they call another blues stringer back home.
And then finally, this last clip I'm going to play you. This is strange. He didn't sing all night, the bass player, and then he took the lead vocal on this next song, and he was a fantastic singer. He's playing double bass and holding it down all night. In fact, I haven't mentioned the whole band. There was another guitarist sort of playing rhythm. He did a couple of solos, but he's basically playing rhythm all night, and a fantastic drummer as well, who I couldn't see at all because he was hidden behind his cymbals from where I was, which was disappointing. That was the full lineup, so there were 3 brass, second guitar, bass, drums, and then Jimmy himself, so 7 of them on stage and all. And then they did this great Fabulous Thunderbirds song with the bass player singing. So I'm going to leave you with this clip. This is the last clip I've got. So I would say it was a brilliant gig. I'm really pleased I went. Unfortunately, I left before the encore because I don't like getting the very last train back. I've been to London a couple of times recently and had problems with the train and got stuck there, so I always think if I get the one before the last one, but it meant I probably would have just made it, but I don't go to London enough to know how long it takes me to get across the from where I am sort of on the tube, and I probably could have stayed for the encore, but I only missed probably the last couple of songs, which was a shame. But it was absolutely brilliant, and I would like to see him again. And if you do get a chance to see him with the band, it's definitely worth seeing. It's a fantastic sounding band. It was a great show. He's a really good showman. And as you'll see in this clip, he also played the guitar behind his head, which was very cool. So thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. I bring out new videos 7 PM UK time every Friday, so I hope to see you next week.